What's happening, bro?
Mr. Lau.
Labor and the expression of worth.
Sometimes trying to repair a ship like that, the responsibility is spread out.
Yeah.
So it goes through a process of pulling air, pressurizing.
This is Juan. He's been in the glass business for over 40 years, and he shared his knowledge of materials and tools with me today. Thanks, Juan. Thanks for bringing the depth, for bringing the value. L&tEoW, labor and the expression of worth.
Put some bass in your voice.
Put some bass in your voice.
Put some bass in your
This is my friend Adam. We've known each other for like 25 years. And this is a pic that Jonah, his son, made for him. It says, L&tEoW, best dad ever. Me and Adam been through some stuff together. Adam is in deep service to Christ out at St. Francis of the Woods in Coyle, Oklahoma. And his entire family, they speak life, love, and hope to my heart. Thank God for Adam and his family. He and his wife, Mary, have this intense yin-yang practice going, balancing the masculine and the feminine. And yeah, just props for all your efforts there, y'all. And the community out there at St. Francis. Whoa, yes, they are constantly, doing the work so that they can live up to their name, of being a spiritual renewal center. Yeah, takes a lot of effort to show up like that all the time. Thank you for your work. Juan described to me how over 40 years he accessed layer upon layer of technical reasoning. And interesting story he told me about how sometimes, people of lesser experience, but who are more in tune with just the systems that a company might teach, can't even really acknowledge or recognize the skills that he's taken many, many years to acquire. So labor and the expression of worth. This is one of our big things right now, is we have to be able to identify depth. Once we've taken a deep dive in at least one area and we understand what depth is like, then we can begin to acknowledge it in others. And when we acknowledge that depth in others, I call it mutual reverence. It's, I see the light in you. And we give this to one another where we truly look deep into the other's existence, and we make inquiries about their value and their worth, and we see it. And when we can see that in one another, it's such a beautiful blessing for everyone. We all grow when we are seen, when we are acknowledged. Together, we acknowledge the Creator, the one who brings us together, the one who who helps us to see through the dark illusions of our times. And music is one of those forms around which we can commune. Thank God, thank God.
Why? This is Travis Stingy in his lips, and this is Tea for Travis.
I can't help but smile listening to me and Adam in that jam session. I've listened to it several times now, and it makes me smile every time at the end. I let that run in its entirety because you can hear he and I trying to find musical space together, we're listening to one another, we're trying to give respect to the time, we're working on time, we're trying to find where that groove is, and I'm playing the same lick basically over and over again, you hear, and then Adam, he's kind of like, okay, what can I do with this? Because he's never played that before, right? And so it's kind of this, really, it's a simple musical idea based on a pentatonic scale, basically, and we're just trying to understand one another. We're making musical inquiries we're making inquiries of being. We're acknowledging one another in this chronological time space, right? Musicians, we relate to one another through time and frequency, pulse and frequency, you might say. You might say that pentatonic scales are kind of archetypal language of musicians. It turns out there's a whole lot of cultures who've used those pentatonics in many different ways, and you hear the characters of different cultures in those pentatonics. But the pentatonic scales, both major and minor, are places where we can reach back together and even hear from our ancestors, and that's my experience. There's this story about how Jesus opened a portal into another world at one point and was kind of hanging out with Moses and Abraham and others of the faith, right? Interesting. Yeah. So we acknowledge the one in this communion because we are all here together, every one of us, our descendants and our ancestors, and all of us here together. We all came here together to work this miracle of love. And along the lines of depth work, I've got to thank my brother Mark. I've been living at his house while he's house sitting elsewhere. Mark is the guy who put the lettering on my van, labor and the expression of worth, L&tEoW. Mark has an incredible work of discipleship. Like he's working with this young man, Dakota, and he just has such respect for the other's experience, Mark does, and a capacity to learn and listen and grow. Thank God for you, Mark. Thank God for you, Dakota. Thank God for you guys working together.